Following a number of lawsuits, settlements, and a decrease in viewership, the mainstream media is going through it and trying to dig their way out of post-election holes, including giving massive pay cuts to big-name anchors. Cable news outlets like MSNBC and CNN ratings have plummeted following the election. Following Donald Trump's electoral victory last month, disenchanted viewers have turned off CNN and MSNBC, while Fox News has seen its ratings surge. From the day after the election through last week, MSNBC averaged only 603,000 total viewers in primetime, less than half of its year-to-date average. CNN was also down 46% in primetime, while Fox News was up 12%, nabbing 2.7 million viewers. MSNBC's flagship shows Morning Joe and The Rachel Maddow Show have also suffered record low ratings during this post-election recession. Late last month, Maddow saw her demo viewership sink to its lowest point since 2015. Meanwhile, this past Monday, Morning Joe had its third lowest rated telecast since its 2007 launch and the smallest demo audience in over 17 years. In terms of weekend news, MSNBC has fallen behind News Nation in the demographic of adults aged 25 to 54, which in turn leads to cuts in the network, and people are scared. Staff at MSNBC were already in a panic after their parent company confirmed a spin-off of its cable properties, which incited fears of potential layoffs. According to Lachlan Cartwright at The Ankler, the overwhelming sentiment from my conversations with 20 network journalists and executives for this story is that they are exhausted and ready for 2024 to be over, even if they are scared by what next year will bring. It's pretty bleak, one long-serving cable network producer told me. It's past the point of hard alcohol. But you know who has it the worst? That's the hosts, who are already getting massive, massive salaries. But they're going to face cuts. MSNBC is reportedly demanding that top anchors like Joy Reid and Stephanie Ruhle take a pay cut to stay in their current high-profile position. Part of a trend across broadcast media to pare back the sky-high salaries of top network talent. Joy Reid is believed to make around $3 million a year to host The Readout, and Stephanie Ruhle is believed to make $2 million for the 11th hour. It's unclear how much their pay cut is, but it doesn't even compare to Rachel Maddow's. The Ankler reported in November that the network gave anchor Rachel Maddow a pay cut of $5 million from her $30 million annual bonanza, though a source at the network told the Daily Beast that the reported salary is not accurate. Another figure was not mentioned. That is just a lot lot of money.
Yes, it is.
That's crazy. Jank, that's how much you made when you were there, right?
So, look, back when I was on MSNBC, they did offer me a lot of money, especially for me. I at that point in my career, I'd never made more than $55,000 in a year, right? And they offered me a contract over 3 years that got past $1 million, okay? And I turned it down because they wanted me to do basically propaganda for the Democratic Party. And so, but I knew that if I stayed there, it wouldn't just stay at that. I knew the salaries of the top anchors, right? And so they make an incredible amount of money, but there's a couple of rules. You got to stay within the guardrails, you know. So they didn't like it when I criticized Barack Obama or any of the Democrats. As I've said many times, they also didn't like it if I criticized the Republican congressman who was looking to cut Social Security, because civility and status quo above all. So there was a bunch of rules we've talked about in the past. So they're getting highly paid for a couple of reasons. One is that's a good racket, right? And so they were all making good money playing this access game and in my opinion, afflicting the afflicted and comforting the comfortable, which is the exact opposite of what journalism is supposed to be. But the second reason is because the industry overall made an enormous amount of money. Because if you don't know this, the way that television works is not only do they have the advertiser money, but these cable stations all get money from the cable package that you guys all pay per month, right? So for example, Fox News, last I checked, was getting $4 per subscriber. And back when TV had 100 million subscribers, That meant that Fox News was getting $400 million a month in just the subscription fees, let alone their advertising. That's why Sean Hannity, according to the press reports, makes $40 million a year. 40 million, okay? So now what's happened is those 100 million subscribers have gone down to 60 million subscribers, and they're heading south. And everybody knows that it's gonna go to almost nothing, right? So that creates a new set of problems for them. And remember, their audience is on average about 70 years old for the 3 cable news stations, 70. And so advertisers generally like demographics that are either 18 to 34-year-olds or 25 to 54-year-olds. So then your advertising money is going down, your subscription money is going down. Before, when you could throw around 40 million, 25 million like it's nothing. Oh, 2 and 3 million for Stephanie Ruhle and Joy Reid, minor anchors. Yeah, of course, that's like lunch money, right? But now all of a sudden, wait, I lost 40% of my revenue based on subscription, and I lost a lot on advertising. They're starting to panic a little bit. And they got huge costs. So what they're trying to do is they're paring down their costs. If you remember, ESPN did this a couple of years ago, and ESPN was the most profitable cable company. But even they got rid of a whole bunch of really high-paid anchors, and people were like, oh, is it political? No, no, no. That was just a cost thing. So in this case, yeah, their ratings are down, but much more importantly, the number of television subscribers are down. So that's why they're in a world of trouble. And after Jackson weighs in, I'll tell you how this is all going to end.
Well, yeah, I think, while there's plenty of legitimate criticism to go around for cable news networks, at the same time, I think we're just watching a natural life cycle of an industry changing and turning. In the last 15 to 20 years, the internet has exploded just within my lifetime. I got my first cell phone at 14. I'm 32 now. And in that time, the app world has just exploded so much to the point where you can get news from so many different outlets, music, anything you want. You can get it from all these different types of independent outlets. So I think that, this is just going to happen anyway. Just like Office Depot, you don't really see those around anymore. This is just kind of the natural life cycle. But now let me say, CNN is just the worst. Out of all of those stations, they are just the worst. Their roundtable discussions, I want to know how much they get paid because they don't talk about anything. The worst roundtable discussions ever. So it's no wonder that younger like Gen X on down don't really want to tune in because we don't have to anymore. So, I think more people will tune into cable news, like as Trump takes office and, all that chaos begins, more people will tune in. But I think that we're just going to keep seeing less and less people tune into those types of networks because you just don't have to anymore.
I got to tell you, last couple of things. First of all, on the CNN point Jackson just made, it's so true. Almost every day they have a panel of a bunch of establishment pundits going, we think that populism might be on the rise. Huh, that's so interesting. Why don't you have a populist on and they can explain it to you? Oh, no, we're gonna have the establishment pundits tell you about populism. It's hilarious, it's like high comedy. So, and I like how Jackson's basically equating MSNBC to Radio Shack. Or Circuit City. Anyways, so guys, how's this all gonna end? They're already starting to spin off all their cable properties. Warner Brothers is, and Comcast is, and that includes MSNBC and CNN. And when they spin it off, there's a lot of different things that could happen. But with MSNBC, it's almost certain that they're gonna go to some sort of private equity, which means that they milk it while it's still making a profit, and then they throw it in the garbage. So the end is near. They just don't realize it.
Hey, thanks for watching that video. We really appreciate it, guys. And we appreciate it if you become members because that allows us to be independent, honest, progressive, all the things that you don't get from corporate media. And all of that is because of you guys. Hit the join button below and become one of us, become a young Turk.